Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hello to everybody in the chat. Fabulous to see you there. Thank you so much for being here. If you're catching this on the replay, hello to you as well. Jump into the comments. Let me know where you're watching from, what you think, what your questions are. I'm Natalie, and this is Scientology Life After a Cult, where we recap the news that has the internet buzzing about Scientology. I also talk about my 35 years in Scientology and escaping with 3 generations of my family. Hit the notification bell because I go on and also do interviews with people who are protesting, live streaming, ex-Scientologists, people who are somehow attached to this beautiful community that we are building. And boy, let me tell you, it is building. You know, we live in a world right now where you hear a lot about Gen Z, and you hear about Gen Z, how the changes that they're going to make, you know, the hope for this next generation, millennials and Gen Z. And I got to tell you, based on what I've been seeing the last few days, Gen Z is coming for you, Scientology. They are not going to take it. They're not having it. They're not having your bullying. They're not having you trying to stop their movement. I'm specifically talking about Chicago, but this is spreading to other areas as well. Austin, California, they're coming for you. And amen, I am here for it. And I will be sharing about it, and we will be talking about it. And I want to send a special thank you to all of you who are, whether it's even something as simple as liking a video, helps. Everything helps. Supporting these other channels too. I've got links down below to all the videos I'm going to be talking about, subscribing to them, chiming in. It all helps. It's amazing to see what's happening right now. We have a turning point when it comes to exposing Scientology and what's happening. And you know the craziest thing? You know who's working the hardest at exposing Scientology? Pulling back the curtain, making the abuses known, showing Scientology for what they really are. You know who's working the hardest at that? Scientology. Oh, they just cannot help themselves. And we are going to see a lot of that today. We are. Yes, we are. First, I want to pop over to Los Angeles, where we're going to take a look at Scientology Audit Streets LA. If you didn't catch my interview with him last week, it's on the channel. Check it out. He just never ceases to amaze me. His persistence, his calmness, and then his outright, when he needs to go off, he does. But I appreciate him and so many of the people that he's helping and educating about what their rights are when it comes to the police as well. Very important to know, especially when you're out there protesting. Definitely a lot of things that you want to know. Thank you so much, Smooth Steve. Thank you so much for that reminder. Casey Cat, thank you for the super chat. I thought about this late into the night. Do you think LA poop owner La Poubelle, Francois Coster, or customers like Motley Crue are possibly behind change in tone frequency of swatting calls? Her business is definitely hurting. It's all possible. It's all on the table. I know, you know, the issue with those swatting calls, and we are going to get into talking about that because, I mean, let's look at what happened yesterday, right? To Jessica Palmadessa and LA Cam. And also what happened to D.O.A. We're going to take a look at a clip at that. It's very well possible that I think a majority of it is by people that are connected to Scientology, but there are also people out there who are, for some whatever sick reason, thinks it's okay to put people's lives at risk. Not that it's any better when they do it, because this is dangerous. And when you see this clip of D.O.A., it even hits home even more. It's dangerous to be doing stuff like that. And nobody has time for it, nor do we appreciate it, because it's dangerous. I wouldn't wish that on Scientology themselves at all. It's definitely not okay. What else is not okay are Scientology front groups. And I loved seeing Scientology Audit Streets LA William Gude call them out. He was over by the Citizens Commission on Human Rights. This is a front group for Scientology. They battle psychiatry, those evil psychs in Big Pharma. They also, what is the other thing they do? They try to claim that they support the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, all while some of the biggest human rights violations are happening right behind their own doors in Scientology, especially in the C organization. So Streets LA was out front Citizens Commission on Human Rights and calling them out. Let's take a little look.
Every year, 2,000 prescriptions for antidepressants are written for children under 1 year old. Can somebody, is that a thing? I just have a hard time believing I mean, come on. Under 1 year, they look at a baby like, oh, this baby's depressed. This baby doesn't cry. I mean, what, it cries too much? What is this? And then, of course, you got the baby bottle with the fucking with the pills in it. Right. And I just learned the other day. I didn't know this. I don't know how come you guys didn't tell me. But L. Ron Hubbard believed that smoking reduces your risk of cancer.
Yeah, that's a thing, actually. L. Ron Hubbard said that smoking doesn't cause cancer, not smoking enough does. We've talked about that a couple times. It is ridiculous, is all I can say. Forget that science has proved otherwise, but this is the thing with Scientology. They have to follow the L. Ron Hubbard playbook. And if L. Ron Hubbard said this is how you wash a window or wash a car, that is how you do it until the end of time. That's just how it is. That's why they're going to be their own downfall. Honestly, Scientology is their own downfall. They're completely doing this to themselves. What have you done to pull this in, Scientology? That's what they would say to anybody else. Now let's hop over to D.O.A. Now, Scottie's got 2 channels. I need to talk to him and find out which one he wants us to share, because I do believe he got his other channel back. The lore of D.O.A is one channel, and then D.O.A, you can find him easily now on YouTube, though, because he's blowing up. So let's take a look at what happened to him yesterday. What's up, Scientology? How dare you come after Scottie? He's just out there trying to educate and have a good time, bringing the fun to it. Out there minding his own business, cleaning out his van. He's a van lifer, so it's also his home. I just got to say, I got to tell you, I love that he did it right in front of the Scientology sign. So on his video, it's like Scottie and then the big blue buildings and Scientology sign in the back. Oh, it's so amazing. It's so amazing. Okay, so let's take a look at what happened yesterday. So the police show up. Scottie's behind the camera.
You gotta be kidding me. You're gonna do this? Oh my God.
I mean, look at that. They got him laying down in the street. Here's the thing that gets me. I don't know if this is an LA thing or if this is police procedure. Why not block traffic? He's laying in the street and some of these cars are not stopping. It's just business as usual.
Reconstructive surgery on my knees. Hey, don't move. Do not move.
You know, and he's down there on the ground, and I'm just wondering, like, what are they waiting for?
This is crazy. You know who I am. know who I am. This is crazy. Stay right there.
Oh, what is it again?
I mean, how many guns or weapons do we have drawn there? 3? So they handcuff him, they get him off, they get him up. We're going to actually grab a video with him sharing about what happened. Casey Cat, thank you so much for the super chat. LAPD has Scottie walking backwards and face down in the street. All the while, cars and pedestrians continue through, including a woman with a baby in a stroller. OMG. Yes, completely. This is dangerous to residents, to people in the area. This goes beyond even the danger to the protesters themselves. What about the people around them where this is happening? These are police with drawn guns, right? What if a kid makes a sudden move and runs off because they're scared or screams? Hey, I just don't even want to think about it. But we have to, because this is BS and it's unnecessary. And this was because of a false call. False call that was called in. But of course, you know DOA, and he was good afterwards. Let's take a little look here. He was detained. He was let go. We got a little clip here. Check it out.
Yeah.
There's a cuff marks.
Oh my God, bro. Oh my God, bro.
They damn.
Bro. I mean, man, we need to start getting out of trouble, but we need to stop getting out of trouble. There's nothing I
I was just minding my own business.
I know,
cleaning
man.
My home.
The thing is, they're watching the stream.
Yeah,
They
it's
could
so
just go.
insane. It's so insane.
I think there gotta be a way to prevent this.
there's
like-
got to be. You can't be putting people on the ground. And
Yeah.
handcuffing them,
It's
detaining them.
gonna stop
That
at
might have
some
been
point.
20 minutes.
Man, I wasn't even gonna come out at all tonight, but I'm
Oh,
like,
here's my other phone.
No, dude, I was a little smoking.
I saw you. I
one-on-one
saw when you
lanes
drove. I saw
Yeah.
you when you drove. I saw. I was so.
My
But
heart's racing. Like, what could be- I got no warrants, so that's good.
my God, man. I'm just like, I hope you
They
just.
took me. Did you see it? They walked me back. This again.
Yeah.
There's a cuff marks.
Oh my God, bro. Oh my.
Look at that. Scottie. Oh, it's infuriating. It's dangerous. They need to be called out on it. It's just not okay. It is not okay. All right. So we are going to, where are we going? You know what? We're going to jump over to Clearwater for a couple of very interesting things. One is funny. I thought this was hilarious. This is Feral Cheryl. Feral Cheryl getting her groove on. It's really short, but this really brought a smile to my face, and I hope it does the same for you. Check it out.
Oh my God, just shut the fuck up.
Short, sweet, and simple. Feral Cheryl is in Clearwater with quite a few protesters. LAURI Plays, who we're going to take a look at something she encountered last night that was interesting. We've seen how Scientologists, especially Sea Org members, will just disperse when protesters and live streamers show up. Here's the interesting thing, though, and I keep saying this, Scientologists will still keep walking and go into the building. Okay. They don't like being on video. They don't want to be on video, but they'll still do it and they'll do their thing. So, but when it's Sea Organization members, you'll see what happens. They actually completely will run away. I'm going to keep saying this. I really feel strongly. And I think I think that Scientology is telling Sea Org members, you better not be caught on video. You better not be caught in a photo, because of the way that they react. It's so over the top. And we've talked about this here on the channel. This is because many people in the Sea Organization are cut off from their families. Some haven't seen their families in decades. And if their family members see them on these videos, that could open a whole can of worms where they'll be like, hey, there's Uncle Joe. We were wondering what happened to him. Think about what happened to Liz Ferris. Liz Ferris here on YouTube. Bob Ferris is her dad at Golden Era Productions. He is still there. They lied and told her father was dead for 20 years. Then she found out the truth. He is an elderly man. and he's being held there. So I think that that's a lot of what's happening is they're being told, specifically the Sea Org members, like, you better not be on there. So let's take a look. This is LAURI Plays in Clearwater.
Are you?
Don't want to be on camera. Don't put me on camera.
Oh, sir, you're in a public place.
See, Scientologist, don't be me on camera. Don't want to be on camera, but he keeps walking.
No, I don't have to have your permission, sir. I don't have to have your permission when you're in a public space, sir. Oh, little duckies all in a row. Running around the other side. Oh. There he goes. Good-ding. Oh.
Did you see that pivot? Do you see the difference? The Scientologist just kept going, right? He's a public person, but these are actual Sea Organization members.
Oh, seriously, y'all, come on. I'm an old lady with a cell phone. What's so scary about that? See, you could have just passed me and I'd have gone on my happy way. Now we're just going in the same direction. And that means you're on camera a significantly larger amount of time. That was silly. Sometimes people just don't make the best choices, though, eh? But I do hope that maybe you guys will call your fair.
Don't want to be on camera. Don't put me on camera.
Oh, sir, you're in a public place. No, I don't have to have your.
Amazing. But you see the difference there. And I really think it's because Scientology is coming down on the Sea Org members and being like, don't you dare, because they will be punished for it. They will. They'll be told, what did you do to pull this in? Right? Are you connected to somebody that's antagonistic towards Scientology, doesn't agree with what you're doing? That is what they will do to make it their fault. I knew people when I was in the Sea Organization. I knew a kid who got mugged on Hollywood Boulevard and he got in trouble. He was punished. He was given a committee of evidence, which is like a court martial. The other twist to that story is he also happened to be gay. And he was already in trouble for that in the Sea Organization. So I think they used it as a reason to just punish him even more. Like they were saying that was why. Liz Ferris, thank you so much for gifting that membership and becoming a member. You are too awesome. Liz, thank you for gifting 5 Scientology Life After Occult memberships. Thank you, Liz. I was just talking about you, although you were probably here. You know what? I just feel like every chance we get to talk about your dad, where's Bob Ferris, that we need to, because there's always new people too who are joining the channel, joining our streams, who are learning about the abuses in Scientology and what they need to keep an eye out for. So appreciate you. Now, let's jump over to Austin. As you know, Austin opened their Scientology building just a couple of weeks ago. It seems like it was yesterday, but I think maybe it was a week, 2 weeks ago. Pearl Snappy has been doing the most amazing job out there, along with other protesters. KK's been out there, Miss Kim, and other ones as well. And there was an interview that was done, and this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Gen Z. They're coming for you, Scientology. They're not having it. The Texas News Prime Time did an interview, and I want to share what they shared. I think that this is from the school that's nearby, the Austin organization. Somebody probably knows better than me, but take a little look and a listen at this.
I'm Nicholas Pantaloni here outside of the Church of Scientology over in West Campus. We were able to talk to a couple students and protesters outside the event. Let's take a look.
On Sunday, the Church of Scientology in Austin held a grand opening ceremony for its Guadalupe Street facility, celebrating the completion of a years-long renovation. In a press release, the church states that the new building will enable its youth outreach for drug prevention, further, quote, human rights education, end quote, and fight what it describes as, quote, mental health abuse. The grand opening was closed to the press, but appeared to attract many attendees and featured an appearance by the leader of Scientology, David Miscavige. The opening was met with protest from some of Scientology's detractors.
I don't think it's okay that they open within a block just across the street, frankly, of the University of Texas.
The Church of Scientology has been accused of child abuse and human trafficking by former members. Additionally, questions persist surrounding the disappearance of David Miscavige's wife, Shelley, once a prominent figure for the church. It has been labeled as a cult by many of its detractors.
The kids cannot consent, the elder abuse is not okay, and they need to lose their tax.
Check out her shirt, F Sciento. It's from the sign that was outside Austin For those who don't know, their garbage bags were falling off the sign, Church of Scientology, and all that showed for the longest time was F Sciento. So if you see that around the internet, F Sciento, that's where that comes from.
Exemption. And so when I found out that the Austin org was opening, I was just like, put me in, coach.
That's always been a problem on college campuses is rape and the not reporting and stuff. And that's been in the news for a long time. Well, now we have a cult right next to you that's going to try to get people from your college to join it. And they allow rapists to go free.
TSTV News attempted to interview attendees of the event, but all either declined our requests or did not respond.
For TSTV News, I'm Nicholas Pantalone.
Love that. Love that. That's just amazing. And it really shows. And they're right. They're all right. And that is the thing. Scientology covers up SA of all kinds. Raise your hand if you were SA'd and Scientology covered it up. It's what they do. They will cover up anything to protect Scientology. It's protect Scientology at all costs. That's really pretty much how it works. Trevor, thank you for that. The e-meter is an anti-gay weapon. Yep, Scientology has used it that way, definitely. Jamie Steele, thank you so much for becoming a new member. Hip, hip, hooray, by the way, everybody. Hip, hip, hooray. Casey Cat, thank you for the super chat. Have you watched the 11 video infiltration Cult of Scientology docuseries, all short, done by Reckless Ben? Aaron said they were spot on, but I think they're hysterical. You know what? I did see a few of them, and it fell off my radar. I need to go back and watch that. That was a while ago. Thank you, Casey Cat, for bringing that up because I wanted it back on my radar and I had forgotten. Terry Berry, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you so much. I just love Pearl Snappy and what they're doing out there. And again, you're seeing this theme, right? Of these college kids, especially who are I think they are mostly, aren't they all Gen Z by now, right? 25 and under at this point. Somebody tell me in the chat or the comments. I think that's correct. They're not having it. Wait till you see Chicago. We haven't even gotten to Chicago. Wait till you see that. They're not having it and they're not afraid to talk about it. And they're skilled and they're educated and they know how to use the internet and they're masters at social media. Oh, I'm just so here for it. Danny, hey, I hope you're having some tea and some honey. You and Leah resting your voices. They kicked butt in Chicago and definitely took a strain on them. Before we get to Chicago, we're going to hop over to my hometown in Hawaii, which is where I grew up and where my family was originally in Scientology. I had dropped out of high school to join staff for Scientology. I love this comment. Thank you. I love it. I think Gen Z is the end. It ends with that generation. It does. And what's after Gen Z? That's my grandkids. Alpha. They're the alpha generation. They're not having it. My grandkids are the fourth generation in my family and the first generation to not be in Scientology. Fourth generation since my family had gotten into Scientology. First generation, never in. I'm raising my own never ins, although my grandkids, I'm not raising them. My kids are. What's that saying? If you raise your children, what is it? If you raise your children, you won't have to raise your grandchildren. But if you don't raise your children, you're going to be raising your grandchildren. I enjoy them, but only the fun stuff because I'm a grandma and I get to do that. So I fill them up with s'mores and we do whatever we want. And then I hand them back to their parents. All right. I'm totally distracting myself with the grandkid talk. Hawaii. Let's go to Hawaii. Aloha, friends. Aloha. Somebody was in Hawaii and they shared this and I love it so much. And I'm so glad they did. And if anybody is going to be live streaming or protesting in Hawaii, reach out to this girl, Natalie at lifeafteraccult.com. Hawaii holds a special place in my heart, always will because it's home. But I would love to see something happening with Scientology out there. I think this was Freedom from Religion who has traveled. I do believe I've shared a few of his clips. Okay, so this is the Hawaii organization. This is Scientology in Hawaii. Take a look.
You know, I do, but it doesn't work over here. Anyway.
No, it's all right. It's good. It's all good. Yeah. So what's here? I was looking at. There's a restaurant and post office. And yeah. So are you part of this Scientology? Are you are you a part of it? Yeah. What do you do here? Okay. Not going to get much out of them, but he's letting the lady go inside. So, oh, and there's the little film there. I don't. Well, he doesn't seem very excited about it.
I do believe he's a Sea Org member too, just based on the way that he's dressed. But check this out. He gets really good. Next time, I hope he's able to go out again and see if they cover the windows. He gets a good view in there.
Do you think those look like they could be?
Those are e-meters you can see right there on the shelf.
Cans, the machines they use. Oh, you got to use D7 hand sanitizer. Oh, she must be going in for a session. That lady, her name was Jenny, he said. Let's see if we can. I don't know if you guys can read that. That's some sort of board that they have.
It looks like a scheduling board to me. Sometimes they'll use it to schedule people who are coming in for services. It looks like not much is happening there in Hawaii with Scientology. Honestly, never really has never really been that big of a thing there. But I was happy to see him there and sharing that, to see some stuff being done there. Okay, let's get over to Chicago and talk about these young people. They are not having it. Chicago opened this past weekend, which you all probably know. And now we are starting to hear from the students, because there is I think directly across are college students who that's their residence, that's where they're living. And they are not happy about what happened when they weren't allowed to freely access and come and go because of Scientology. So Chicago Scientology Audit, I do believe most of this is from Shannon's channel. They kind of did a Shannon's channel takeover for a bit with some of them, but we got some interesting information that I want to share with you. You guys got to see this. I just loved it. They're just not having it. They're not having it. Check it out.
Here they come. Hey, we get lit. Hey, Xenu is my king. I'm not muted. Okay, cool.
So that's good.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then we have cars driving by, like honking. Don't give them any personal info. No, actually, I have a kind of a personal vendetta against Scientology. My mother got involved with Scientology like 20 years ago, and she opted out like after 2 sessions, and they continue to harass her to this day. So it hits close to home a little bit.
Yeah, did you get that? So as I understand it, he's from Los Angeles. His mom, and now he's in college in Chicago, and his mom was in Scientology 20 years ago, and they're still harassing her, sending her mail, all of that. Because, you just cannot get off the Scientology mailing list unless you get declared a suppressive person. They haven't emailed me or sent me mail in ages. That's about what you got to do. But yeah, he's got a vendetta. It hits home for him. He heard of his mom's experience and what happened. And I think it's fantastic, because he already knew that about Scientology. But this, again, what we're going to see in these next few clips are examples of Scientology creating their own enemies. Protesters are just there filming it. You're creating your own enemies through your actions and what you're doing. Let's see. We're going to hop over. Someone sent me a clip. This is a video, but it is... I don't think this is, I think it's on somebody's YouTube channel, but what they sent me was outside of that. I'm going to share it here. I think it's still from Shannon's stream. Listen about the dolls. I forgot about the dolls in Scientology training. Check this out.
Should we ask him a couple questions?
The guy who went in?
Elia.
Oh my God.
Elia, can you answer a couple questions for the stream? Dude, it's 300 people. Can you tell me? No, it's Shannon's stream, the one with purple hair stream. But she's so. Well, what happened in there? What happened? Like,
I mean, they tried to get me to sit for a lecture. It was kind of weird.
I toured all 6 out of 7 floors, and there was classrooms with like integrated audio interfaces into the desks. There was like dolls sitting at the chairs.
Dolls sitting at the chairs.
It's a little weird.
Guys, clip that.
I have pictures. Yeah.
Wait, he has pictures. These are pictures. Show the pictures, bro.
I have a picture of like the dolls.
We're about to see
sitting on the
pictures.
chairs.
Yo! Wait, show the stream. Show the stream. Show the stream.
Those were the dolls.
Dolls on the chairs.
You see the dolls? I forgot about the dolls. The dolls are used in Scientology drills and training auditors. If you're learning how to do a touch assist or something like that, you'll do it on a doll. You'll do it on the doll first. Yeah, not weird at all, right? No, that's not weird.
What?
That's real. That's real.
That's a real
evidence.
That's inside. What?
Oh my God, it is. It said Scientology. It said
Holy
Scientology.
fuck. Wait, show us the dolls one more time.
Oh, of course. Why, they wanted to see the dolls?
Yeah. They got dolls sitting in the chairs.
Wow.
What? Like,
yeah. And what I love about this too is because I grew up in Scientology, so many things that someone never in Scientology would look at it and go, what the heck is that? What is up with that? That's so weird. That's so bizarre. And even when I left Scientology, because there's so much, we're talking about unpacking 35 years of experience and memories. I forgot about the dolls in training. And now I can see from the outside how like, oh, that is weird. Why don't you at least put the dolls away? They don't even know. Scientology doesn't realize how out of touch and bizarre some of their behaviors and practices are. Because, okay, fine, you practice doing drills on a doll. They would argue that, well, when you do CPR, you practice it on a doll. Sure. Okay, let's go with that. Let's give you that. Maybe put the dolls in the closet when you're doing tours, especially with college kids who know nothing about Scientology. Many don't. You want their introduction to be creepy dolls? This is why I'm saying no one is doing more work to take down Scientology than Scientology themselves. The only difference is it's being filmed now. There's witnesses to it and it's being shared. They're doing it all on their own. They are not helping themselves one bit. And you're going to hear more of this too, as students shared with Shannon and her stream from Chicago Scientology Audit what they experienced since Scientology has moved in. Check it out.
Scientology give you any trouble?
Yeah, a little bit, because I kept going in and out.
Yeah, that's what I
So
mean.
they're like, do you actually live here? And I'm like, I don't need to show you my ID, but yes, I live here. This is my Columbia residence ID. Like, you can't stop me. Like, I'm going to help these kids get to their classes. But after that, like, once I showed my ID, and I was like, get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah.
They left me alone. Let me walk kids to their dorm.
Good job. Good job. I bet you've been a go-getter from the beginning.
Yeah, I definitely tried to help. I don't want Scientology here any more than anyone else does besides Scientologists.
It looks like a lot of people remember you from yesterday.
Yeah.
So what's up in India? I think it's hard to see. Linda. I remember her from yesterday. Her and her friend walking students was the best.
That was my roommate.
Ash for student president.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you running?
I am not.
Oh, okay. Scientology give you any trouble?
So she was out there when Scientology was shutting down streets, stopping even people with disabilities from having direct access to get to where they needed to go and making them walk blocks out of their way. Sending students, no, you need to go over there. They go over there and they're told, no, you need to go over there. And a lot of them just weren't having it. And this is what I mean by creating their own enemies. And don't worry, they're not going to stop because they're never wrong. They're never wrong in what they do. They're just not. Well, they definitely got the attention of a couple of film students who are now going to make a documentary about Scientology that has moved next door to them. And I love this Patricio kid, by the way. I think that's his name. If anybody knows him, give him my email, Natalie at Scientology Life After a Cult. I would love to talk to these kids here and get their take on this, on what's happening next door. And all I know is the kid's name is, I think it's Patricio. But check this out.
Patricio. We're going to bring this whole organization
We're
down.
taking it down.
Mark our words. We're already working on the job.
We are. We're working on a documentary. We're film students, so this will not go unnoticed.
Something's going on.
I'm on the sidewalk. I'm not blocking no part of the entrance. I'm not blocking any part of the entrance.
And that selfless self there. He's been there as well.
No one want to go in anyway.
Where should I go? You guys are on exactly.
Hey, not touching. You're on our block. You're on the block. They even know Clark Street. They don't even know Clark Street. You got a fan. Someone said, "What's up, Patricio?"
They know me?
My dad's calling me. He's ready. He definitely just saw me streaming on the
They know me?
Scientos have got to go.
Scientos have got to go.
Uh-huh.
Scientos have got to go. You move in next to a college campus. I don't know if the school itself is there or if it's just where they live. And the immediate first thing you do is block off all the streets and tell the students they can't go where they want to go. Have you ever tried telling, especially a young person, that no, you can't do that? No, you can't go there? What usually happens? You're going to hear about it. You are going to hear about it, and people are hearing about it. Yes, gotta love those kids. Absolutely. Corn Freak, that girl gave you a cookie? Cool, cool. I bet it was a fun cookie, right? Chicago. Oh my goodness. Hold on, I just saw Mary Reno. That's hilarious. Are the dolls taller than David Miscavige? It's actually a rule in Scientology that the dolls always be shorter than David Miscavige so as not to offend him. That's not a thing, but I bet it would be. Okay, check this out. Another guy over on TikTok letting the entire world know what they think about Scientology, what happened, and how this generation is seeing it. Check this out.
Town Church of Scientology. They have set up all of these barricades, like literal barricades, higher, you can't see through them. They're all put together. They have full security up and down the street. I had to show a proof of address. I had to show a rent payment in order to get into my own building. They wouldn't even let me on the sidewalk. I went up to a police officer. They're all like vested up. There's probably 2 or 3 at every little checkpoint. As I go through, they stop you. And I'm like, I get to the second one, I get to the third one, and I'm like, okay, I'm over this. Like, I'm done being polite. And I just held my phone up, wiggled my keys. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. They've got people. I couldn't tell if they were security. I couldn't tell if it was a member. They've got suits on. Everyone's dressed up in ties. It's all black. Really, really weird stuff. I've lived here for 5 years in this neighborhood, and this is weird stuff. I heard about this happening in 2019 is when they first announced the plans to do this, and hopefully this isn't too windy. But I heard about this and I thought it got canceled or something. It's probably a COVID thing. I don't know. But yeah, then I saw something in my neighborhood chat.
Isn't that great? And just fabulous. And this is exactly what we're talking about. Getting the word out. And it just makes me so happy to realize that Scientology is lending their shoulder to the wheel of exposing Scientology. I appreciate that, Scientology. It means a lot. It hits me in the feels. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Casey Cat, thank you for that super chat. How to make friends and influence students, cult style. Completely. It's totally it. That is totally it. Okay, we're going to take another look at Nancy Drew. I got a clip here from her. So I shared with you guys yesterday about how there is a Sea Organization member. This is actually breaks my heart. His name is Sean Angelina, and I didn't recognize him when I saw him because I haven't seen him since he was a very young child. And Sean Angelina is someone who was in the same daycare. His mom and I were in the Sea Organization together, and as punishment for refusing to terminate our pregnancies, both our husbands and we refused. We were sent to Seattle to work there for Scientology. So our kids were in the same daycare. And I remember I've changed Sean Angelina's diaper when he was a little guy. He played with him and my daughter. I believe they're just months apart because his mom, Tony, and I were pregnant at the same time. We worked in the same organization. She was my direct senior. So it was a big problem in the Sea Organization when I became pregnant and refused to give in to the pressure to end my pregnancy. And it breaks my heart that Sean and Galena is now an Office of Special Affairs goon who is okay with elderly people being abused, as we saw if you caught yesterday's recap. I just can't stand that he's doing this. And I don't know if his parents don't know. And to be honest, his parents are nice people. I liked them, both of them, his mom and his dad. He's got sisters too. Far as I know, they're not in this organization. I think it's just Sean and his wife, if he even is still married. I wonder when the last time is that he saw his wife. But breaks my heart. But Nancy Drew has a conversation with him, and it looks like what she said might have gotten through a little bit. I don't expect him to remember me because he was a child. If he knows my name, it's because I'm here on YouTube. It's just a happy coincidence that I knew him as a child, and I know his parents to be lovely people, despite the fact that they're still in Scientology. And I hope they know that this is what your son's doing. This is what Scientology has your son doing. So check it out.
She wanted Danny to join, but he couldn't talk. My voice is pretty rough right now. Oh, look, Sean's still here. That's Sean, isn't it?
That old man to get arrested. And
You remember Natalie Webster? She used to babysit you. She used to babysit you. Do you remember Natalie? She wishes you well. She wishes that you would leave this place. Natalie sends you that message. Natalie sends you that message. Sean.
Thank you, Nancy. And I do. I truly wish him well, and I want him out of there because that could be my daughter. Him and my daughter, like I said, they can't be more than 3 months apart because, like I said, Tony and I were pregnant at the same time. And my daughter's out of Scientology, my daughter Shelby. If you go early back in my channel, I did 2 interviews with my daughter and she shared her story. And to hear the path that she ended up taking and what I had to do to break her out of Scientology that last time, it was like something out of Mission Impossible to get her out of Florida, off the base, sent out of the country. Scientology still tracked her down and tried to get her to leave her family and join them. And they did not win because they forget that they raised me. And I remember the rules and knew exactly what to do to disqualify my daughter from ever stepping foot on that base in Florida again. And you're welcome. So it's sad. It's really sad for me. And he's doing some serious butthole stuff. Sean Angelina, shame on you. You should get a timeout. More than that. But at the same time, he could still have a life. He could still leave. You can't tell me that he doesn't look like a happy person. Look at every video. We've seen him in England. We've seen him in Austin, I believe. Now we're seeing him in Chicago. This is not a happy person doing this. I hope he leaves. I hope he does. And if he does, I would welcome him and his family with open arms. And I know that, it's a long road to healing. I don't know when he joined the Sea organization. I don't know how long he's been in, but nothing will mess you up more than joining the Sea Org. But there's life after a cult. Trust me on that one. So I do hope he comes out. Also in Chicago, Nancy Drew caught some conversation with the police there that we're going to take a little peek at. Let's give this a little look and a listen here and see what was going on.
Because we called the police and no one showed up. We called twice and no one showed up, and it was here.
So that's Selfless Self there. You can follow him here on YouTube. And then that's Danny right there. And they're letting the police know what happened when Danny was assaulted. He was hit in the face with a car door by a guy who appears to be a PI who followed Scientology in a back alley, because that's not creepy.
Oh, you have to take it.
Are you talking about the PI? Because I have footage.
Oh, yeah, the PI.
Yeah, I have footage.
He actually followed her before attacking me. So.
Yeah. He followed me down the alley from that. There's an alley on the other side of here. He followed me down from that end to this end.
So they're letting the police know that Scientology there, sharing the footage, sharing the video, letting them know like, hey, here's what's up. This is what's up. And hopefully they took a look. I'm sure they saw it, but it's going to take a lot of education, and it's going to take combating what Scientology is doing. What Scientology does when they come into a new area is they put together a whole bunch of propaganda for local officials, right? They try and get the people at the top, because then they will tell the people underneath them to listen, that this is the deal. They'll do that too. I guarantee you they gave Chicago PD a file on Danny. And that's why Commander Harris was giving him such a hard time and basically saying a bunch of BS stuff like that he can't yell. Yeah, you can yell. You can totally yell. And Danny knows that too. All right, so let's see. Let's take a look at this. This is from Self as Self, from his stream. Dodge Landisman, I think that's how you say his name, was busting a move. You got to have fun too while you're out there. And I thought this was great.
Oh, yes, I missed something. Yes, thank you. Yeah,
Just a little bit of fun. Oh, I love that. I thought it was great. Yes, Danny, the commander, was corrupt as heck. You're totally right about that. We could see that. He even tried to shut down, did. Danny went to another officer and said, "Can I yell?" And the officer said, "Yeah, you absolutely can." And that commander came up and said, "No, he doesn't know what he's talking about," and tried to shut it down. Now there is someone out in Edinburgh, which I believe is in Scotland, showing us a little bit of Scientology there. This is what I'm saying, people. When I say these protests are growing, they're growing across the world, right? All over. And I love it. Natalie at lifeafteraccult.com is my email, where you can send me clips. You can send me videos, but send me a timestamp and tell me what I'm looking at. So this is over in Scotland.
Just down here somewhere. Here we go. Yes. So this here, that's it. I think there's a bits upstairs as well. But yep, door is pretty much closed. Oh, someone's peeking out. So we'll go across the road. So like so changing, we'll go across the road.
So he goes and he shares some more on that. But I thought that was great. That's in Scotland. Just more people picking up their phone and going, hey, let's go check out Scientology. Let's see what's happening. What's happening there. Just make sure that if you are no matter where you are, what state you are in the US or in another country, find out what the laws are when it comes to live streaming, protesting. Check in and find out so you don't violate those laws while you're there, because they're not the same. What you see happening in Los Angeles and other places might not be allowed where you are. I just urge you to find out. Know what the rules are. Know what the law is. Love Scotland. Me too. I've never been. I want to go. My grandfather's actually from Scotland. He was born there, and when he was 6 months old, his family moved to Hawaii. And then he married my grandma, and that's how the Hawaiian came in. Okay, where are we at? This was so cute. I love this so much. I am just loving what Jeff at PTS for Life is doing. He is in Canada. He's covering a lot of the protests that's happening in Toronto. He has been out to Vancouver. He has been to the Portland organization. He has been to Seattle. He is doing a ton. Anything you can do to support him and his channel and help him grow, that would be fantastic. He's chatting with Kim McNeil. And okay, you guys tell me in the chat. I apologize in advance because I'm just having a brain fart on. I know it's got the Cultiverse. I think it's the Cultiverse as well. But they're chatting about our channel here. And Kim is talking about her experience. Kim is I believe, second generation, now ex-Scientologist. Let's give it a little look and a listen. Can't see it, Jeff.
Oh, I guess I should probably actually share the screen.
There you go.
Oh, the joys. Oh, the joys. All
Well, at
right,
least
let's
you can do
let's
it.
try that again.
I'll learn more about YouTube. I'm going to make this a mission. Wow, this has been so rewarding.
I do. I have 3 more.
Woohoo.
These ones are shorter ones. This is one of my favorite because you guys are taking back the hip hip hooray from the Scientologists. So
That comes from Natalie.
yeah, this is great. It's only about
I
a minute
also,
long.
about the camper, earlier in that video, I say, look, Natalie, you can take this glamping.
Yeah, there was the big Dianetics van there that I'm like, ooh, because you may or may not know this about me. If you are new to the channel, I am obsessed with glamping. I mean, obsessed. If I'm not watching Scientology content, I try to follow as much as I can because, number one, I just want to honor the people who are out there doing it, who are live streaming, who are protesting, other content creators here on the channel. I try to watch as much as I can, but when I need a break from it, I turn to glamping. And I watch all these RV videos. I'm like obsessed with it. I have a travel trailer, but the dream, people, is to take Scientology Life After a Cult on the road. Maybe we'll do a little bit this summer where we live stream from the road. And I ultimately would love to do it in a Class C RV, one that you can drive, because I would have to do a lot of the driving. And I have not yet learned how to do the travel trailer. So I'm putting it out there to the universe. Any of those big RV companies watching and you'd like to sponsor, let me know, because I think it would be so much fun to do that. Now, I want to share something else from PTS for Life, Jeff, that he did. He does these Dear Scientologist videos that hit you in the feels, but are also make you go like, wow, that really makes the point. Really makes the point. Check this out.
Who are we? Oh, hey, Kathy, how's it going?
Hi, oh my God.
Oh my goodness, I got a hug. I know.
Years.
I know.
Hey,
How's it going?
going good.
I will let you know that we are filming, we are live streaming, and James is going to tell you to come in. But I really appreciate the hug. It's nice to see you again. Are you in touch with Kyle at all? Kyle, Connor? How's he doing? Is he still down in the SO or? He's in Florida. Cool. Have a good day. There you go, guys. See, that's what happens. You get a hug. I hope you got that, Nathaniel. I did. You get a hug, but as soon as someone knows that you're not with Scientology, they pull you away.
See, and it should be like that. You see somebody you haven't seen in ages and you're like, hey, how are you doing? She didn't ask if he was still doing Scientology or any of that, right? That is a normal reaction. That is how it should be. But then Scientology, the powers that be in there come up and, no, you're not supposed to be doing that. Don't communicate. Another example of how Scientology is shutting themselves down by acting like this. This behavior is now playing out across the internet. It's being captured. Really, all you got to do is show up with a video camera or a phone and live stream it and capture it. They will do these things. And it's showing the world, this is what they're doing. It's not okay. And you don't want your family members in there. That is for sure. That is definitely for sure. But I love what Jeff is doing and what Kim is doing and what the woman from the Cultiverse is doing. Go Canada. I'm loving it. Let's see here. We're going to grab a couple questions. Monica, cop told Jessica they couldn't track fake calls. Shouldn't that be up to a judge or court to decide this is dangerous and illegal? I would think so. I don't know enough about that. If somebody does, tell us in the chat or in the comments. How can the cops or dispatch, there's got to be a way for them to track these calls. I'm not really buying that they can't because I don't know. I am not an expert, but I have watched a lot of Law and Order. It seems to me like they can track these calls. I don't know. It's weird. Zippy, is there a comprehensive list of the front groups? The biggest Scientology front groups are listed on the Scientology website, Scientology.org. They list all their front groups on there. Now, I'm working on putting together a website for the channel as a way to, there's so much information that I think would be easier for people to access if we could just say, okay, go here, and then you can download, you can see what the front groups are. We can continue to add to it. So I have people who are, I'm working on that, and other people who are working on putting together these lists and whatnot. And if you have any information to share, Natalie at lifeafteraccult.com, because here's what's happening. Scientology's front groups are mainly known as, for example, Foundation for a Drug-Free World, but they have other front groups that are using different twists on that names so that when they go to local city leaders and go, hey, can you come to our ribbon opening? No, we're not Scientology. We're not even related to that group. We're this. It's a front group of a front group because they've caught on that people aren't buying it. And our local elected officials need to not be lazy and need to be looking into it. Many of them now are kind of backtracking and saying, oh, I didn't know. Well, you should have known before you went to Scientology and spoke at their opening and told them how great they were in the world. They need to be held accountable for that. And there is a list someone put together for me of every Scientology opening and every official who showed up. That's the kind of thing that I want to get onto the website so it's easily accessible and people can reach out and ask them, did you know? Here's information. Get educated. Find out. Don't do it again. Do not do it again. Let's see. Victoria Miles. If Sea Org members don't get paid very much money, how can they afford to smoke because cigarettes are expensive? I've often wondered that. A lot of them roll their own. I saw that a lot where they got the tobacco and they would do that. I knew Sea Org members who would like cut hair for very little money of other Sea Org members just to make money for cigarettes. I've seen Sea Org members take not completely smoked cigarettes out of cigarette trays, whatever you call them, to then smoke them because they didn't have money. It's really gross. Really nasty. Jamie Steele, if I did not welcome you, hip hip hooray. Thank you for becoming a member. Okay, Tim, I did not know this. Have you heard that France turned down Scientology's grand opening? No, I did not. If you have that anywhere that I can reference, Natalie at lifeafteraccult.com, if you could send it to me, that'd be great. I have not heard of that, but that is super interesting. Debbie with an I, thank you so much for that. Do you think Cult of Scientology is digging dirt up on public officials and higher up police and pretty much blackmailing them to get them to do what they want? They could be. They usually don't start there. They usually start with paying for their nonprofits, hiring and overpaying them. They start there. They try to win them over like that first. Failing that, though, if they step out of line, if they get out of pocket and start looking like they're not towing the Scientology line, yeah, they'll resort to that. They absolutely will. They have. They've done it for decades. This is something that they do. So spot on, spot on. Selfless Self, hey, good to see you there. How can I be doing this full-time globally? I used to tour the globe playing drums. I could do the same protesting Scientology. Yes. Maybe connect with Scottie with D.O.A because he's kind of, and also Leah and Danny. You know, they've been doing this in Hollywood, Austin, and Chicago. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a lovely idea. All right. Now, I said it at the beginning, and I'm going to say it again, that Scientology is the biggest player right now in bringing down Scientology. I want to thank them for that. Please like this video and subscribe. I've got some great interviews coming up. What is today? I don't even know what today is. I think it's Tuesday. This week and in this weekend that I'm very excited about. I've been trying to take a lot of the questions that I get in the comments, in the chat, by email, and then do a video around that to answer questions. One I get a lot is, what does a day look like for a Sea Org member? I'm also going to be talking to Dylan Gill, Blow Drill. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but also his experience. Dylan was at like the highest of the high that you can get to in terms of confidential locations for Scientology. He worked in the States for them. And I worked at the exact opposite at the bottom of that. So we can kind of, compare those experiences. Ben, bacon is meat. Candy Turner, thank you so much for that. Natalie, love the show. Question, are all OSA members Sea Org? That is a great question. Okay, so like Sean Ingalina is a Sea Org member. He's the one that we've been seeing a lot and has unfortunately been the one behind not putting a stop to the elderly man in Chicago being assaulted by Scientology hired goon security. The Office of Special Affairs they are Sea Organization members, but In every Scientology organization, right? Be it Toronto, Vancouver, Seattle, Chicago, Austin, there is a person called the Director of Special Affairs. And the Director of Special Affairs is the boots on the ground person that coordinates with the Office of Special Affairs. But even that person doesn't know everything that's going on, doesn't know about the PIs being hired, the lawyers being hired. They know very little. They keep them in the dark as much as possible, but it is their job locally to handle people who show up for protesters, to protest, to live stream. Basically, anyone they consider to be a critic of Scientology. That is their job. And that is the Director of Special Affairs. Sometimes, because these organizations don't have enough staff, they have two jobs. They're the Director of Special Affairs, and they do another job in the organization too. So that hopefully answers that question. But Office of Special Affairs themselves, those are Sea organization members every day, all day. But that, you know what? That is a fabulous question. I'm glad that you asked that. All right, here's what we're going to do. I am hopefully going to be doing another video today. I got a couple things to work out, but I want to do that. So set that notification bell, check your subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends to hit that subscribe button. And if anyone can reach these kids in Chicago, let me know. I would love to chat with them and talk to them about what's happening, what maybe some of their plans are. Natalie at lifeafteroccult.com. That would be fantastic. In the meantime, thank you all for being here and all of your support always. I hope you guys all get out and have the most amazing cult-free day.